Welcome to Return to Athens. Today, Inge de Bruin takes up the challenge. A special insight into track and field events. And we continue our series on countries to watch. All that and more as we return to Athens. Firstly, Dutch Olympic gold medalist Inge de Bruin swam in an aquarium full of sharks, a feeling she's had to get used to, with two Australian swimmers snapping at her heels. The swimming diva was taking time off from her busy training schedule to open an event in Rotterdam's Blitjob Zoo. The event, called Zoolympics, is a program organised by the zoo inviting children to compare human records with animal standards. Inge de Bruin entered the Swimming Hall of Fame when she recorded a time of 53.8 seconds to smash Chinese swimmer Jinyi Li's 6-year-old 100-metre freestyle world record time of 54.01 at the 1994 World Championships. De Bruin then went on to set a world record in each of her individual events. She also picked up a silver in the 4x100-metre relay. "It's outstanding that I did," De Bruin said after winning the 50-metre free in 24.32. "Before I came here, I knew I could do something, but I couldn't imagine such greatness. It's easy to predict that I would win 3, but it's different to do it." She then went on to win 3 gold medals in the Sydney Olympics and has 6 world records to her name. Recently, she qualified for the Netherlands team after competing in trials in Amsterdam. De Bruin, known as Inky in America where she trains, said the races showed she's in good shape and that gave her enough confidence to aim for gold.
Well, I don't want to go for less, I just want to go for the gold. I'm aiming for the gold, but the clocks are on 0 and all the 8 finalists will be tremendously fast and but it's just a challenge. I'm really ready to race, and I did an awesome time last weekend at the Olympic trials in Amsterdam, and I feel very confident right now that I'm so close to my old, Olympic and world record. So that's a big plus for me.
Next, we look at Inge and her compatriots, but firstly, we check the 100-metre contenders. Libby Lenton recently smashed Inge de Bruin's 100-metre freestyle record by 0.11 of a second, with another young Australian, Jodie Henry, equalling it. Have these two hopefuls peaked too early, or are we in for an exciting final? In 1928, they were the hosts of the 9th Olympiad, and they've won more than 180 Olympic medals. It's the Orange Army, the Netherlands. For a tiny country, the Dutch have always managed to field a strong Olympic team. The strength of the nation's sporting endeavours seem to rest heavily on the hockey field, in cycling, whether on the velodrome or on the road, and finally in the pool. However, it's in the sport of hockey where the Netherlands have taken the Olympic world by storm. From the efforts of the men's and women's teams respectively, they have won 16 medals, including 3 gold. The men's team have taken home 2 gold medals after back-to-back victories in 1996 and 2000, where they defeated South Korea 5-4 in a penalty shootout. They've also 2 silver medals and 3 bronze medals to their name. The Dutch women have also tasted success. It was at the Los Angeles Games in 1984 they reached the pinnacle of Olympic glory with victory over West Germany. Also in their collection are 3 bronze medals, the latest coming from Sydney. The Dutch are renowned for their brilliant skill and tenacity. With forceful defence and blistering attacking drives, they have both strength and depth in all areas of their Olympic team lineups. Already with a rich tradition in Olympic hockey, if the Netherlands are to taste success in the Athens Olympics, the hockey field may just be the place to do it. At the Sydney 2000 Games, Dutch swimming sensations Peter van den Hoogenband and Inge de Bruin smashed world record after world record. Between them, they took home 8 medals, 5 of them gold. Van den Hoogenband, known as Hoogie, won gold in the 100 and 200 metre freestyle. Hoogie left the Sydney International Aquatic Centre as a double Olympic champion with a total of 4 Olympic medals. His teammate Inge de Bruin, or Inky, was simply untouchable. Her haul of 3 gold medals, all in world record time, made her one of the most successful Dutch swimmers in Olympic history. She claimed gold in the 50 and 100 metre freestyle and the 100 metre butterfly. 8-time cycling world champion Leontien Ziliard van Moorsel enters the Games with 3 Olympic titles to her name. Her success on the bike has been phenomenal. In Sydney, Ziliard van Moorsel won gold in the pursuit, time trial and the road race. She also won a silver medal in the points race. Will she reap the same results for the Netherlands again this year? A country full of colour and pride, the Netherlands will be reaching for the stars at the Athens Games, looking to add more glory to their already impressive list of credentials. There was a poor turnout for the 17th staging of the Beijing International Marathon Relay, with only 2,000 competitors from various countries. Only the women's event was made up of professional international runners. The Chinese athletes in the women's race set out to use it as a warm-up event for Athens. Sung Ying-ji, bronze medalist in the 5,000 metres at the World Championships in Paris last summer, ran the first leg for China, but her performance of 33 minutes and 48 seconds was well below her best. Jing Huina, another Chinese medal hopeful for the Athens Games, ran the second leg for her team. Victory was wrapped up when Li He-lan ran a strong final leg, and the Chinese team were able to triumph in a time of 2 hours, 19 minutes and 52 seconds.
We should have as many chances to practice as possible before the Games begin. After this marathon race, we won't have any other games for us in the first half of this year.
A local Chinese university team won the men's marathon relay race. Crossed the line in a time of 2 hours, 7 minutes and 16 seconds. Unfortunately, the men didn't look at the event as a stepping stone for the road to Athens, leaving only a few events left to achieve race potential before August. I'm sure the roads will be full leading up to the Beijing Games, and as we can see with construction already underway, the marathon course will be ready for the test event in 2008. When you hear the term steeplechasing, you automatically think of the equine event held at some of the most famous race meetings around the globe. And it's not surprising when you realise how the human version of the race began. In 1850, a group of Oxford University students devised a race to imitate that of the horse. They held the event over 2 miles or 3,200 metres across open country, setting the track with obstacles similar to hurdles and including having to jump the water barriers. The similarities to horse racing did not end there. The runners were handicapped according to their weight, but thankfully that doesn't happen today. The steeplechase debuted on the Olympic calendar in 1900, over 2,500 and 4,000 metres. In 1904, the event was run over 2,500 metres. By 1908, the event was again changed to be run over 3,200 metres. Today's race specifications weren't put in place until 1954, when the International Amateur Athletics Federation decreed that the steeplechase distance would be 3,000 metres. In the modern steeplechase, athletes are required to clear 28 steeples by running 7.5 circuits of a 400-metre track. There are 5 obstacles for each lap. The water jump fixed as jump number 4. The base of the water jump has to be covered in extra layers of the same synthetic surface as the track to assist in a safe landing, as well as allowing the runner's spikes to grip the surface. Steeplechase as an athletics event has an unusual history. Nevertheless, it remains an entertaining and unpredictable test of speed, endurance and strength. Medal predictions for the steeple are for the gold to go to Saif Saeed Shaheen from the Middle Eastern country of Qatar. It will be a hard-fought race to sort out the minor placings between two Kenyan runners. Nevertheless, we predict Ezekiel Kemboi for the silver and for the bronze medal, Paul Koech. The discus, the shot put, the hammer throw and the javelin. These 4 throwing disciplines are classified as part of the field events of athletics. Throwing events allow special dispensation to use extra safety equipment. Throwers all permitted to wear a heavy leather belt to protect their spine. In shot put, athletes are allowed to wear a band on their wrist to protect it from injury. The hammer weighs 7.26 kilograms for men and 4 kilograms for women. The aim of the hammer is to win the goal by throwing it the furthest. It weighs the same as a shot put but is attached to a handle via a piece of wire. The hammer is hurled from inside a specially constructed cage, set up in the interest of the safety of the spectators. The athlete grips the handle and spins to gain speed and momentum before releasing the hammer into the field. A white flag signalling the throw is a valid one. The discus, as all throwing events, is an event for both men and women. For women, the discus must weigh 1 kilogram, while for the men, it must weigh 2. The discus can be made from wood or another similar substance, but must have the edges covered by metal. The discus, like the hammer, is also thrown from inside a safety cage. In contrast, the javelin doesn't need a safety cage because in this event, the athletes sprint along a specific runway in only one direction. The javelin is the only throwing event where the way the equipment lands makes a difference as to whether the throw is valid or not. The javelin must mark the oval with the tip first for the throw to count. In throwing, the athlete holds the javelin with a grip in the middle, throwing it from behind the shoulder. The women's javelin weighs 600 grams, while the men's weighs 200 more at 800 grams. It's a thrilling event to watch. While some rotation is used for shot put, the speed and distance are not fast or long enough to make the competitor disorientated, so they do not require a safety cage. The shot can be thrown using a few methods. One is where the athlete has their back to the field and then lunges forward before throwing. The other involves rotation before throwing, though the athlete must always be aware not to step over the white wooden barrier at the front of the throwing circle, or the throw will be declared invalid. The shot is thrown with one arm only from the shoulder, with the shot beginning around the neck area. With 4 throwing events to choose from, everyone is sure to find at least one that they will enjoy watching. Have you picked yours? A hop, a step and a jump into a sandpit. Can't be that dangerous, can it? While it is rare, triple jump does have its share of injuries. The most common are knees and, of course, the extremely unpleasant injury of spraining your ankle or damaging your wrist as you land awkwardly. Not to mention the stray official on the track. The triple jump that was originally practiced by the ancient Greeks really was no more than 3 long jumps in a row. First called the hop-hop jump, the action changed to the hop-step-and jump around the early 1900s. The hop-hop and jump had the first 2 actions occurring on the same foot. The rules of triple jump today are an extension of those made for a long jumper, with some natural variations. The hop, the step and the jump must be made in that order. The hop needs to be landed from the same foot that the athlete takes off from, the step on the opposite foot. From there, the athlete may complete the event with a jump. As in other field events, flags indicate if the attempt was valid. White means yes, while the red flag indicates there was a foul. The athlete most likely took off after the takeoff board. The takeoff board is positioned 16 metres from the sandpit for men and 13 for women. The distance between the takeoff board and the end of the landing area is no less than 21 metres. A jump is invalid if an athlete's foot is over the takeoff board. To help determine this, it's recommended by the IAAF that plasticine be placed on the trailing edge of the board. If an impression is left in the plasticine, then the athlete's foot is over the edge of the takeoff board. The takeoff board is always white and made of wood. The landing zone should be filled with sand that is ideally a little damp. The surface should be level with the takeoff board and returned by raking the pit to that level after every jump. It's certainly an unusual sport to become a fan of. Nevertheless, one that creates tension and a fantastic atmosphere on the athletics arena. Our medal predictor has been working hard, looking at who will stand atop the dais in the triple jump. For the gold, the prediction is for Swede Christian Olsson to hold onto the #1 world ranking by taking the gold. The silver medalist looks like shaping up to be the Brazilian Yedel Gregorio. The bronze medal going to American Kenta Bell. The high jump event did not appear at the ancient games, even though it was practiced around that time. The aim of the high jump is to leap over a set bar height without knocking it down. Several jumping styles have been used. Most athletes today use the method known as the Fosbury flop, with the athlete jumping up with their back towards the bar. When the athletes only had sand to cushion their fall, they used a more practical style, the straddle or scissor jump. Seen here training, 1964 Tokyo Olympic champion Valeri Brummel. Once a mattress was introduced, the method with the unusual name of the Fosbury flop was invented, permitting the athletes to jump over the bar head first. As you can see in the straddle, the athlete straddles the bar with their chest facing down, rolling over the bar and preparing for the landing. Although in today's event, there's still a chance you might miss the mattress. The first known competition in high jump was in 1840, and by 1865, over 30 years prior to the modern games, the regulations adopted remain. The competitor is not allowed to have both feet leave the ground at the same time. Another rule that is still in force today is that after 3 failed attempts to clear the bar, the competitor is eliminated. Also, the bar is not allowed to be lowered. The high jump was included for men at the first modern games, whilst women's high jump was added in 1928. In competition, athletes may begin jumping at any height, but after 3 consecutive failures, no matter what the height, they will be eliminated. The athlete may, however, choose to forego his or her second or third attempt after failing the previous and move on to the next height. The length of the runway can be between 15 and 25 metres depending on the venue available. While the field may be a little chaotic with all the other events happening at the Olympics, keep an eye out for the jumpers in the corner. The medal predictions in the high jump for women are South African sensation Hesti Kroiti to leap just that little bit higher than Kajsa Bergqvist from Sweden, although the battle between the two, one to keep an eye on, while Vita Palama from the Ukraine looks like taking the bronze. So as we jump ever higher towards August, remember to keep watching Return to Athens, as we bring you the latest in the behind-the-scenes news and views in the lead-up to Athens 2004.